The Grand Canyon is a bucket list item for many backpackers, but what does it take to plan a trip into the Big Ditch? On this adventure, we're hiking the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim, getting up close and experiencing one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. And it all starts right now. Joining me on this adventure, we're an incredible group of backpackers eager to take on the challenges of the Grand Canyon.
I'm in the middle of the yacht. Hi, I'm Chuck the Mule.
I'm almost with him. That's grab five you real quick.
That's exactly who you are.
Art Pelton 1, and you're watching Miyagi and Trips on the Trail.
Our ragtag group of Midwest backpackers flew into Phoenix, Arizona, where we rented a car and drove to Flagstaff for some last-minute provisions before driving the remaining 4 hours to Grand Canyon National Park. Just outside Grand Canyon Village, we stopped in the small town of Tucson for a big steak dinner and some camaraderie before starting our adventure early the next morning. Arriving at the South Rim well past sunset, we made our way to our final destination for the evening, the Yavapai Lodge in the Grand Canyon Village. Having traveled halfway across the United States and 3/4 of the state of Arizona by car, and with the anticipation of our adventure starting in the morning, our group was ready for a good night's rest. The November air was crisp as we began our day making the final adjustments to our gear in anticipation for a 14.5-mile day ahead, hiking deep into the canyon. We left the lodge and traveled to the Backcountry Information Center, where we'd leave our car and catch the 6 a.m. shuttle bus to the South Kaibab trailhead. As we boarded the bus, the excitement each of us felt as we were transported to a world that none of us had yet experienced was a feeling never to be forgotten.
Nothing like making it just in time, eh?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Grand Canyon. It's 6:15, and the shuttle bus just dropped us off at the South Kaibab Trail, and as you can see, it's still dark out. We made it just in time. A little bit tricky to find the Backcountry Information Center in the dark, but we were able to do it. I was at the lodge. It was pretty calm, and when we're here on the edge of the canyon after being dropped off, it got a little nippy. So we're starting out with the Melly and the Helium-2 jacket, and hopefully that'll be enough to take the edge off as we start getting down into the canyon. What we're curious on seeing is if we got snow down there. So we all brought our micro spikes, but not sure if we're gonna need them yet. So time to hit it. From the South Rim, the trail heads north, beginning with a steep descent through the Grand Canyon's upper rock layers, the Kaibab Limestone and the Toroweap Formation. For the first 3/4 of a mile, the trail cuts through the eastern side of Pipe Creek Canyon until Aah Point, where the canyon walls turn around Aah Point and the view of the eastern canyon opens up. All right, well, we made it to our first waypoint on the Gaia here. We got Aah Point, and we're just at the right time during the day as the sun's coming up.
Like thousands of miles. Yeah.
The Grand Canyon is 277 miles long and covers a total area of 1,900 square miles. It's 10 miles across on average and 18 miles at its widest.
So the Grand Canyon is listed as one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and you can begin to see why. The views are epic, and they started the moment we hit the trail this morning as the sun was coming up.
Below Cedar Ridge, the trail continues north around the east side of a prominent Supai sandstone tower named O'Neill Butte, descending gradually through the Hermit Shale and Supai Group to Skeleton Point.
So the plan for today is South Kaibab trailhead. We're gonna head down to the Colorado River along the South Kaibab. We're gonna have a short break at Phantom Ranch where we're gonna get a few snacks and who knows, maybe have a beer. And then it's on to Ribbon Falls from there, which is gonna be a short round mile detour, and then we're gonna be heading into Cottonwood Camp. And Cottonwood Camp is about 14.5 miles from the trailhead. And mapping it out in Gaia, if you take all the elevation change up and down during this entire route, because that's all it is, we'll be doing over 16,000 feet of elevation today. We've already dropped over 1,000 feet of elevation from the trailhead after we were dropped off by the hiker shuttle bus.
They have false bottoms here instead of false peaks.
False bottoms.
Yeah, because you're like, there it is. And
There's
you're
the
like,
bottom.
Never mind there.
So you take what should be a quarter mile and you make it a half mile.
It's the first
4.5 miles into the trek, we just made it to the split where the South Kaibab trail hits the Tonto trail. And this is a really good spot if you need some water to fill up. It's a large plateau, a nice area to take a break. What's that, Mule?
This is me last night, and this is me today, and then this is me again tonight, and then I'll go back to here.
This is just a cyclical process for Mule here.
Yes.
Drink, headache,
Made it to this little shelter.
shit yourself, hydrate.
Here. It's
How far do we have to go, Rob?
to Phantom Ranch. I think we got just about 2 miles, give or take.
Chuck, what are you doing?
Situating,
Yeah.
organization.
Organizing
Yeah.
your pack.
Bike riding, you see my brother's take a picture. I'm like,
You really wish I would have packed my shorts like that.
You smell that?
It's solid.
We're just shy of 5 miles into the day here, and you can just start hearing the Colorado River down below, the roaring. There is no shortage of epic views on this hike. Thoughts?
Thoughts? For one thing, I'm grateful. Grateful just for being physically able to do something like this. Seriously, the views, the cameras probably don't do it justice, but it's absolutely, it's just amazing. Colorado River is just down there. The bridge to get across it is just down there. We're 2 miles from Phantom Ranch. It's just epic stuff, man. Epic stuff.
So we reached the spot, you can see the Colorado and the Silver Bridge, which is right there. That's what we're gonna be taking back up on day number 3 to Indian Garden. But we are gonna be taking the Black Bridge, and you can see that right down over here. And that mule train that passed us this morning is heading up the trail towards Phantom Ranch right here. So to prepare for this hike, of course, I've been watching lots of YouTube videos on people that have done this rim to rim to rim before me, and nothing compares to actually being here. I mean, this place is just so vast and you feel so tiny as you're hiking along the trails. You can see above and around me, we've gone from the more light colored Coconino section of the canyon to this red rock, and that's got a lot of iron ore in it.
The Grand Canyon is made up of numerous rock layers that have formed over millions and millions of years, with the youngest layers at the top, or the rim of the canyon, and the oldest at the bottom. The primary layers that you're able to witness as you travel throughout the canyon are the Kaibab limestone at the top, the Toro Weep Formation, the Coconino Sandstone, Hermit Shale, Supai Group, Red Wall Limestone, Mauve Limestone, Bright Angel Shale, Tapete Sandstone, and the supergroup made up of numerous igneous and metamorphic rocks, including Vishnu and Brahma Schist. The acronym DUDE is an excellent way to remember how the Grand Canyon was formed: the deposition of sediments, the uplifting effects of plate tectonics, the downcut of water as it makes its way back to the ocean, and the erosion of sediments and rock by way of water, freezing and thawing, landslides, floods, and earthquakes. Dude, that's pretty cool.
Just got on the Black Bridge, and I gotta say, this thing is an engineering marvel. This thing was built by Ward Weber back in 1928, 1 year before the stock market crash. And the 522 tons of material that it took to make this bridge were carried down by hand by people, and of course mules coming down the trails that we just came down now. In fact, 46 Havasupai Indians carried this immense suspension cable all the way down from the rim. What an incredible, incredible bridge, and the views are equally as incredible. So this is your view looking off to the east of the Colorado River. The average depth of this river is over 100 feet deep, and they don't recommend that you swim it. And here's the Colorado looking off to the west, and you can see just downriver there the Silver Bridge, and this is where we're going to be coming in on day number 3. You can see this boardwalk, elevated boardwalk. There's some rough hewn timbers that have been bolted to the bridge, and that's for the mules that come up here daily. And what you don't want is the mules destroying the floorboards, so they put these thick rough hewn boards on here, and you can see how they've been kind of eaten away as the mule trains make their way back and forth all the time on this trail. So before this bridge, there was actually a cable suspension that went across, and there was a small box that people would ride this cable system across. In fact, President Roosevelt was here at this very location and took this cable suspension pulley system across the Colorado River, and part of it disassembled, and he made it across okay. And apparently he was quoted as saying, "Let's do that again," when they got to the other side. So a lot of history here in the canyon as well. This was one of the favorite stomping grounds of President Roosevelt. The park itself wasn't made a national park until 1919, and ever since then the visitors to this area have just multiplied. In fact, now this national park, it's over 4 million visitors a year, and you can see why. That's pretty cool. So that group was on day number 8 of 20, floating down the Colorado. They basically park it and camp, and man, what an awesome adventure. Had it been a little bit warmer, I might have considered dunking in, but it's only 61, so that ain't probably gonna happen. So just up ahead of me here is Phantom Ranch. And the only way to get to Phantom Ranch is by walking in, or you gotta ride a mule. On the other side of the Bright Angel Creek here is Bright Angel Campground. We originally tried to get into this campground, but we were not able to. So we have to go on to the next one, which is the Cottonwood Campground. And that one is also on Bright Angel Creek. However, it doesn't have the amenities, obviously, that Phantom Ranch does. So the plan is to take our lunch here. The guys are way ahead of me. I've been filming, and I think Chuck really wanted to get a beer. So as you can see on the other side of the river here, your water source is Bright Angel Creek, and they have all these nice little camp spots. Each of them have a picnic table. You have the cottonwood trees behind me. All kinds of really lush vegetation down here.
What's up, guys? Did you guys have a rough day? Did you have a rough day today? Hi. Hi. Well, you guys are very friendly. You climb up these mountains every day? Is that what you do? You mountain climber? Well, if you're the one that brought Chuck's beer down, he says thank you. Because that's probably what he's doing right now, drinking a beer.
So we just stopped here at Phantom Ranch for a little bit of lunch. They have some nice picnic tables underneath the cottonwood trees. And the really cool thing is you can get some lemonade here. Freshly squeezed lemonade is super good. Right up here at the service counter. And the really neat thing is you can actually buy a postcard. They have a couple different ones to choose from, and you can fill that out and buy a stamp, and they'll actually mail it via mule. The mules will pack it up to the South Rim, and they'll go out in the U.S. mail. So I sent Trips a postcard, so in the next day or so she should be getting that. So pretty cool. This is a great place to stop and take a break. If you want to stay here, you got to make sure that you reserve your spot months and months and months in advance, because you can get a small cabin here. They do have breakfast and lunch and supper, but it's by reservation only. So we're just stopping for a short time, and it's another 7 miles. This is our halfway point to Cottonwood Camp for the evening. On the north side of Phantom Ranch, there's an elevated bathroom, and just down underneath some of the bushes was a pretty big mule deer. It's just kind of hanging out. We'll see if it's still here. We're in this spot in the canyon called the Box, where the canyon walls rise up on both sides of you, and it makes you feel like
Rising up,
you're in a box.
back on the street.
It just makes you want to sing. And it's nice because it's shaded in the sun. Whew, it gets warm.
Chicka Slim Shady.
Even in November.
I just go,
It was like right when I was almost asleep, but I'm what?
form.
Here. Oh, wait. Oh, you're a good friend. Oh. Simple physics. Things in motion stay in motion.
So we're just shy of 11 miles into the day. Just stopped for a little break there along Bright Angel Creek in the shade. Even though it's the middle of November, it's still blazing hot out here. High was projected at 82 at Phantom Ranch. And I think we're feeling it. So our next stop, within the next 2 miles, is going to be Ribbon Falls. We just packed up a couple of hikers who said that the waterfall is flowing really good. And there's some other people there that said that it was one of the coolest things that they've ever seen hiking. So pretty excited to see that today. And then another 2 miles after that to round out the day to Cottonwood Campground. And that should do it for this 14.5 mile day through the Grand Canyon. Whew. So we got a helicopter coming in straight through the canyon here, and it's got a real long line with something hanging on it, probably a drop of some kind. Wow, that's neat. That's cool. Look at the drag on that thing. Wow. We just reached a split to Ribbon Falls, and you can take it one of two ways right now. The bridge is actually closed. So there's this little bypass trail that you can take, but you have to cross Bright Angel Creek. There it is, Ribbon Falls. Man, it's like a little oasis in the desert out here. Just water everywhere.
Ribbon Falls is considered a sacred site for one of the local Native American tribes in the area. The Zuni people consider Chimikyanakayadea, or Ribbon Falls, their place of emergence into the world. In their creation story, the Zuni people were the first beings emerged from the earth to become people of the upper world at Ribbon Falls. Once the people left the waterfall, they left behind glyphic and structural signs that the Zuni people still recognize today. Being in this location, you can immediately feel the power and sacredness of the site. Ribbon Falls is truly an oasis in the desert and should be respected if you choose to make the journey here.
So, why can't we take the bridge? Seems perfectly safe to me, Rob.
You just gotta change your definition of safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't watch.
Yeah, Chuck, grab his pole. Like a champ. Like a champ.
So, piece of advice. Don't do what Chuck does. God, I was nervous to swap.
So Chuck was asking me, when you're in the Grand Canyon like this, and you look up and you see these tall, what look like mountains, obviously you're down in the canyon, what do they call those? Which is a good question. They call those buttes. So if you look behind me, this one, it looks like a large cathedral. That one's called Oza Butte, O-Z-A. And all these pinnacles out here have different names to them. And it's kind of neat. I use the Gaia app, G-A-I-A. And if you download that app, it has all the trails through the Grand Canyon. And it'll show you what each of these different features in the landscape are. "14 miles.
Cottonwood campsite.
We made it. Just enough time where we got about an hour and a half to 2 hours until dark time. Then we should be able to set up camp and get some food going. So we just passed the ranger and we decided that we're gonna take the group spot. He said we could stay here as long as nobody else comes in. So if we have a group of 7 or more that come in, we're gonna have to vamuska. But this is a really nice spot. It's shaded and plenty of open spots for tents and to relax.
It's a good day hiking.
Good day hiking. So at Cottonwood Creek, all the water has been shut off for the season because the potential for freezing exists. Just a couple weeks ago, it got down into the single digits out here. And so we have to go down to Bright Angel Creek to get our water. That's how we get water.
What's up, brother man?
Let's see them pretty feet.
Oh, look at those.
These are water feet right here.
Those are water feet.
Water feet.
So not good.
Nice.
That's how you know you done it right.
You guys are matchers. He's not in a hammock anymore. He's now in a tent.
This isn't a permanent thing. Only when I have to. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's why you get the last few.
Water. Da da da. Da da da. Da da. Da da.
Look at Miyagi's face, just disgusted. What are you doing? We're standing in here.
Get your sticky ass feet in our fruit box?
Yeah. Don't hate. Don't hate. Don't hate.
Wow.
Oh, dude! How freaking cool is that, huh?
It's very cool. That is amazing.
Badass, huh?
It is.
Well, guys, it's 8 o'clock, and I think it's about time to turn in for the day. Everybody else is in bed already. I've been out here doing some astrophotography and looking for scorpions. We found a few, as you saw. It was a really good day. First time in the Grand Canyon, hiked from the South Rim all the way to Cottonwood Camp, which is 3/4 of the way through the canyon. So tomorrow is a elusively easier day. We do have to ascend the North Rim, so that's going to be fun. And I have to decide whether or not I'm going to take the alternate route, which apparently is 5 hours longer and adds 3 miles. The old Bright Angel Trail. So we'll see. It's a tiring day, a lot of elevation today. Knees and feet are feeling it for sure. So looking forward to tomorrow and the next few days. Grand Canyon. It's awesome. You guys got to see it. It's a pretty magical place. All right, y'all. See you in the morning.
Like the only way to hard way. We don't like the only way to soft ways. We like the only way to hard way. I like the only way, my hard way.
It's war paint.
Why is everything pointy?
It's the story of the day right there. I don't recommend this trail to like anybody.
Don't get a boo-boo.
That's a big boo-boo, dude.